The crossover, one of the most devastating moves in basketball, and when executed brilliantly, the most humiliating move in basketball. If you've ever caught somebody slipping on a crossover, then you know that feeling you get, that just for a second, you feel like Kyrie, or Iverson, or Hardaway, with the ball on a string and your defender at your mercy. And if you've ever been on the receiving end, well, we won't talk about that.
You're trash, kid.
But even more deadly than the crossover is the move's ugly cousin, appropriately named the ankle breaker. Unlike the crossover that comes in many shapes and forms, from players slipping or getting caught sprinting in the wrong direction on a step back, the ankle breaker only presents itself in one unmistakable fashion. It's ruthless, unpredictable, demoralizing. It'll make you feel small and insignificant. And even worse is the teammate on the bench who for a split second forgets you're on his team and adds insult to injury.
Oh, it's time to hightail it out of here. Ankle breaker, don't fail me.
But this is where things get real ugly. Injury. Ankle breakers that were so lethal, players literally got injured as a result. It's quite possibly the rarest occurrence in all of basketball. And for one NBA player in particular, getting caught up in a vicious ankle breaker cost him his entire career. But before we discuss that absolute train wreck, let's take a look at some other injury-inducing ankle breakers. On April 1st, 2012, the Denver Nuggets faced off against the Orlando Magic in a regular season matchup. The game was close from end to end, and with just over 30 seconds left in the fourth, the Nuggets were up by 2. Ty Lawson has the ball and he's waiting for a screen. He gets the screen and a mismatch on a 6'10" Ryan Anderson. Now, rule number 1, for all big men trying to stick shifty guards, don't try to dance with them. Just get big and use your length. Otherwise, this can happen.
Amway Center. Shot clock at 6.
But wait, there's more.
Lawson left open. Big shot by Ty Lawson, wide open. And an injured Magic player.
After getting caught on an island with a man a foot shorter than him, Ryan Anderson tries to stay with Lawson. His ankle had other plans.
You think I'm not watching this. Look!
Lawson gives Anderson a quick jab followed by a step back. A simple yet effective combo that sends Anderson to the ground in agony. And to make matters so much worse, Lawson then rises up and sinks the game-winning jumper. The epitome of kicking a man while he's down. But as disgusting as this move was, this ankle breaker didn't just end with the game-winning shot, because Ryan Anderson would miss the next 3 games due to injury. This man got crossed up, rolled his ankle into oblivion, watched the man that just sent him to the floor hit the game-winning shot, and then had to sit out for a week because of this ankle breaker. This is what basketball nightmares are made of. No man should ever have to endure such a fate. On the other hand, what every man should do is check out today's sponsor, DraftKings. DraftKings is celebrating the big game by giving you a chance to instantly win up to $25,000 in prizes with DraftKings Big Game Prediction Challenge, with up to $55 million in total prizes up for grabs. Just download the DraftKings app and sign up using promo code JxmyHighroller, then enter the DraftKings free Big Game Prediction Challenge. Make your picks and boom, collect up to $25,000 in prizes instantly. And yes, your ears do not deceive you. This challenge is completely free to enter. Check this out. I just go into my DraftKings app, select the Big Game Prediction Challenge, and make my picks. Now, I may not know a whole lot about football, but that's not gonna stop me from trying to get this money. I make my picks, and not only am I now entered to win a share of $55 million in prizes, I instantly win a prize just for entering the challenge. It doesn't get much easier than that. Check out DraftKings. I've left a link in the description below. Be sure to sign up using promo code JxmyHighroller and give yourself a chance to win big today. Now, some hoopers have avoided this disastrous fate, but even the greatest players can fall victim to the most vicious ankle breakers. If you're lucky, sometimes you can escape these moves with your pride and dignity intact. Unfortunately for Stephen Curry, this was not the case. Now, early on in Steph's career, his largest obstacle was not LeBron, it wasn't Durant and the Thunder, it wasn't even a team or an individual. It was these bad boys, his glass ankles. And on October 29th, 2010, Stephen Curry and his ankles came face to face with an ankle breaker they would soon not forget.
Steph is hurt. Steph Curry is hurt.
Same ankle.
He went straight down and never moved.
Oh, man.
While guarding Eric Gordon, Steph tries to avoid a screen from Blake Griffin, going over the top of the screen to cut off his drive to the middle. But Gordon caught him slipping, literally, and cuts back right, sending Curry and his ankles to the ground. If you've ever rolled your ankle before, you can feel this image.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Of course, Eric Gordon nails the jumper, and if that wasn't bad enough, for some reason the announcers feel the need to start riddling off all of Steph's ankle injuries that season.
And he turned that ankle the same way he turned it in San Diego against the Lakers last week.
Curry hurt it in the second to last preseason game. That was last Thursday.
Oh, I know what that feels like.
And then he re-injured it Wednesday night.
Really? Y'all couldn't wait for a better time to do that? But similar to Ryan Anderson's fate, this ankle breaker actually injured Steph and sidelined him for 2 games, furthering the concern of Warriors fans and their potential star's health. Little did they know. But as devastating as both these ankle breakers were, nothing comes close to the pain and humiliation inflicted by an ankle breaker executed by none other than Luke Walton. That's right. The most destructive ankle breaker in the history of the NBA was performed by quite possibly the least athletic 6'8" small forward to ever suit up in the NBA. An ankle breaker even uglier than the quality of this footage. An ankle breaker that derailed the career of a 23-year-old Adam Morrison.
In the fourth, 6 points, 2 of 5 from the floor. Luke, oh boy, you hear the scream of Adam Morrison. Luke Walton made a move.
Yay.
Oh my God.
Morrison plants off that left. We just hope that's not an ACL. We see that on basketball courts and similar movements.
A painfully slow jab step into a normal dribble. And even worse, this move led to a simple pass. And even worse, the pass turned into a blown layup. But Adam Morrison saw none of that because Luke Walton sent him to the floor, clutching his knee in pain. Because this move caused Adam Morrison to tear his ACL. Luke Walton looked stunned, not because he just ruptured a man's knee, but because he had never crossed someone over in his life. His mind is having trouble comprehending the madness he has inflicted. Now, a torn ACL is a terrible injury, usually followed up by an entire season of rehab. But in the case of Adam Morrison, this ankle breaker was so ruthless that he not only had to sit out the entire season, but his career was completely altered because of it. In his rookie season, Morrison finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting in front of guys like Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Rajon Rondo. He wasn't incredible, but he was on pace to being a good NBA player with a long career ahead of him. But after this move from Luke Walton, Adam Morrison never played more than 14 minutes a game and retired from the NBA just 3 years later at the age of 25. Luke Walton literally ended a man's career off of a simple jab step. The poor man never even saw it coming. And as if Adam's story couldn't get any worse, this happened in a preseason game. A game that had no relevance or importance whatsoever. Adam Morrison got hit with an ankle breaker that tore his ACL, took him out for a year, and eventually led to an early retirement in a preseason game just 79 games into his NBA career. So the next time you get crossed up, broken down, or lost in the sauce, just remind yourself that things could always be worse. At least you're not Adam Morrison.